Hey everyone, this is Craig with Socialmonials. If you're like us, you're always looking for a way to generate new customers from the ones you already have. It's the cheapest way to get new customers, and Google absolutely loves seeing shares on social media that are pointing to your brand pages. So it's going to help with SEO. It's going to get us basically free customers. Why not do it? So I'm going to show you how to put together a referral campaign that's called a Refer a Colleague. They're also called Refer a Friend when it's a business-to-business transaction like ours is. I tend to call it a Refer a Colleague because what I'm hoping to do is get the thousands of users that are using Socialmonials to recommend to their colleagues that they try Socialmonials. It's a chance for Socialmonials clients to share what they love about the platform and get rewarded at the same time. So it's really a win-win. It helps build the community because now they're appreciative, they're sharing, and they're getting some feedback from their colleagues too on what they like about Socialmonials. So those are some of the reasons that I'm going to be creating a Refer a Colleague program for Socialmonials. It's really long overdue. We're an 8-year-old company and we haven't created one yet. Our noses have been kind of to the grindstone just building features. But it's time we step back, and a lot of people have been asking for a video like this because everybody wants a Refer a Friend program, but putting it together is just challenging. And there's a lot of moving parts. That's one of the reasons we added that campaign type to Socialmonials, is because Socialmonials is really good at taking a complex process and putting it all together in a single campaign so you don't have all these different tools. I'm going to show you how to do everything in a single tool. The only other tool that we're going to use, and I'm going to actually show you how to do this, is Google Tag Manager. And you probably won't need this, but I'm going to show you exactly how we do this for Socialmonials. And since we use Google Tag Manager, it's only fair that I show you what I do behind the scenes too. So the first thing I like to do when I'm creating a program like this, any marketing strategy that I do, I tend to start at the end. I start at what do I want the person to do? And in this case, there's two things. I want the end user to join Socialmonials. And that tends to happen when they take a free trial and actually try the software. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at my funnel. I'm looking at what are the highest converting activities that are antecedents to a purchase, to a subscription to Socialmonials. So looking at all my metrics, without a doubt, if somebody takes a free trial, they're more likely than anybody on the planet to be my next subscriber. So what I want the end user to do is take a free trial. The person that is already a member that I want to join my Refer a Colleague program, and that is the existing Socialmonials client, what I want them to do is share. So in order to do that, I'm going to need to incentivize them in some way. And working backwards from that, I just tend to think put myself in their shoes. What would they want? What makes them all unique? Well, I know that they're all Socialmonials users, and they probably like the software and use the software, otherwise they wouldn't be recommending it. So I think the most appropriate reward for them would be to help them get more out of the Socialmonials platform by expanding their existing plan at no charge. So what I thought of doing for this is I'm going to give them a choice. Clients who refer a friend who takes a free trial will get 5,000 additional entries per month for the life of their account, or they can add an additional user, which also has a $30 a month value. I'm going to add an additional user for the life of their account for everybody that goes and takes a free trial. In order to implement this, what we need to do is, again, start at the end. How do we track this? So how do I know when somebody takes a free trial, and how does Socialmonials know that? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a tag. So if I go to Account Preferences, we have the ability to create a custom tracking event. So I'm going to go into Conversion Tracking Code and then scroll down here. We've already done this, but I'm going to show you what we did. So we have several custom tracking events that we like to track. And we do that just so we can have feedback within our software. Like when I do a social post about a blog, I want to know that it created blog visits. So I created a custom tracking event for blog visits. But we also have one for free trials. And again, that's something we created a long time ago just for reporting purposes. But the other nice thing about custom tracking events, they're automatically available to all your campaigns to use as a goal. So I just called this free trial. It generated a pixel for me. And let's see, the secure page. I'm actually going to check this because that is a secure page now. Do not include this event when calculating total conversions. I'm going to leave this unchecked because I consider a free trial a conversion event. And I want that to show up in my summary conversion metric. And only count the first event per user. Yes, I want to leave this checked. If I don't leave this checked, I can have a single person sign up for a free trial 5 times. And let's be honest, that's really only one person trying it. So I'm going to leave this checked. So to add a new one on your account, you're going to click this blue button down here to add a custom tracking event. Since this is done, I'm going to jump over to Google Tag Manager now. So this is our Google Tag Manager account. And what Google Tag Manager does is it allows you to place additional pixels in the back end of your website. So you can track all these different conversions from all the different software sources you have. But you can just as easily place that tag between the head tags of any page on your website. And for me, since I want to know that this person signed up as a free trial, the URL that I'm going to use is the first page that you get to after you sign up for a free trial. And after you sign up for a successful free trial, it drops you into the account page. So what I did here is I went into triggers, and I created a trigger for free trial. And all that is it means that somebody viewed this particular page. If anybody views that page, the only way they can get there is through the free trial. So I created that trigger. I then went over to tags, and I created a free trial tag. So Socialmonial's free trial, all it has in it is the pixel. So all you need to do is create a custom image tag, paste the pixel, and you'll notice that this is the same pixel that we created in Socialmonials right here. So now that we have Tag Manager live, of course you're going to need to save and publish this. Now it's live on our on our website, and we're tracking that event. Let's get into the good stuff. Now we can just go and create a campaign. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to add a new campaign. Since this is a refer a friend, what I'm going to do is just go to referral, and I'm just going to look at all the different kinds of referral templates I have. Note that if I don't like the appearance of any of the referral campaigns, that's okay. I can actually import the look and feel of any of these campaigns, but really what you really want is the functionality to be there. So here's actually a refer a friend program. This is probably the closest thing, and I actually don't mind the way this looks. So I can click setup instructions, and it will tell me step by step what I need to do to get this ready to go. So I'm going to pull up that setup instructions. It's in a separate window. I'm going to leave that window up and click use this template. So what the software is going to do, it's going to automatically go in and create a complete campaign from start to finish, including all the settings, not just the look and feel. So now we have our join our refer a friend program, and I'm going to need to make some tweaks to this. So in order to see what that is, let's go back to our step-by-step instructions. Instead of watching the video, I'm just going to run through this real quick. We need to change the campaign name, edit the form if we want to capture more information than the default. We're going to add referral rewards rules, and we're going to select the sweepstakes dates, and also select ways that they can earn a referral reward. Seems easy enough. So all of these things are done within my settings. So let's jump into settings. We're going to call this refer a colleague program. I do want rules, but I'm going to add those rules later because I don't want to bore you to tears. And the way I do my rules is, I hate to say it, but I'll go and I'll borrow them from a different website. I'll find a very large company that has a program that's similar. I'll start there and I will tailor that to meet my needs. So I start stripping away things that don't matter. Once I'm done with that, I will hand that off to my attorney. And what we do to save money is we pay about $25 a month to prepaid legal. And if you call and set up an account with them, for 25 bucks a month, you get them to review 10 pages for each campaign that you create. And that's just their standard plan. Also, if you ever get sued, it comes in handy. Knock on wood, it hasn't happened to us, but they would pay for hundreds of hours of defense if that ever happened. So it's been a really good investment. So the call to action is a submission form. I'm going to leave all of these the way that it was set from the beginning because our default form is already created. I'll just show you what this is. All we're going to be capturing here is email first and last and an email opt-in. That's our standard form. I'm going to add one more thing because in the future, the way I promote this is once somebody signs up for a Socialmonials account, I'm going to send them an email inviting them to our Refer a Colleague program. I'll probably set it in my automation about a week or 2 weeks after they start their account. So because I'm going to do that, I'm going to add something called a hidden field. And what I'm curious to know is, what is their client ID? And practically nobody actually knows their client ID, so I'm going to create a hidden field. And what this is going to allow me to do, and I'm going to retain the original value of this. So what this allows me to do is this won't appear on the form. It'll just kind of be in the background ready to go. So when I send my email out through MailChimp, I'll be able to add a parameter to the link to the campaign that adds their client ID. And it'll look something like, it'll be the URL of the campaign, client ID equals 1234. So I'm not going to put a default value, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to, I'm going to leave out the spaces so I don't have trouble with my parameter. So it'll be all one word, client ID equals 12345, and I'll insert what their actual client ID is. Just remember what you named this, because that is what you will call the parameter name when you go to add your parameter to the email. I'm going to save this now. Okay, we're going to have to call this something custom. Let's call this our Refer a Friend. Now in the future, if I create another Refer a Friend campaign, I'll be able to use that. List integration, yes, I definitely want to integrate this with my MailChimp account. And if you haven't already done this, go to integrations at the top right and add your MailChimp account. It's very simple to do, and it will automatically populate all of your live lists within your MailChimp account. So you can choose the list. Now when somebody signs up, it's automatically going to pass them into my MailChimp account. Email notifications, I definitely want to send them a thank you email. This is the standard one. We have an older account. We've had this account for 5 years, so we don't have the newer, prettier templates that you probably have if you've joined within the past couple of years. So I might go in and make this a little prettier, but we've already inserted some default text, and this looks fine for now. I think I'm going to assign a new template to it later. As far as personalization, it already has some personalization, and that's fine. We don't need to get too fancy with the thank you email. I am going to read this real quick. Okay, this definitely is going to need some updating. One thing I want to show you how to do, because it's not included in this, it will be included in your template, but if you want to add an additional one, I'm going to show you how to do this. So I'm going to say share your unique link with colleagues. And to insert the unique link, what you do, let's remove that. I'm going to insert personalization. Tracked link to share is the personalization item you want to add. And what it'll do is when they sign up, it's going to automatically generate a unique link. And I'm going to make that bold just so it appears a little larger. Let's give it a little bit more size as well. There. I'll go in and refine this later. So that looks good. I am going to save it. So upon form submission, send internal notification email. I'm going to turn this on. And what this does is it's going to send me personally an email saying that you signed up for the campaign and you're somebody who's going to be referring business to me. I just like to know that. So I'm going to merge in all this information. I'm going to add one field. Because I'm capturing a new field in my form, it's called client ID. I'm going to add that too. So notice how client ID appeared here. We automatically add any additional fields that you add to the form that you attach to your campaign to your available personalized fields. That looks good. Now I'll know exactly what client ID you are as well. Click Save and it'll automatically close. So now that our emails are all set to trigger, we go down to Referral Rewards, which is already checked for this campaign type. The reward approval, I'm going to hold reward emails only if suspicious activity is detected. Otherwise, it's just going to be fully automated. And by suspicious, things like if the same IP address signs up a bunch of times, if the same email address comes in, if the same cookie ID shows up, it's looking for things like that, and anti-fraud is built into the system, so it kind of knows when something doesn't look right, and it won't issue rewards for that. So email notifications. There's an additional set of email notifications for referral reward programs. So upon approval of reaching the referral goal, send a reward email. I definitely want to do this. So this is going to send, this is the email that will go to my client that will let them know, hey, we're going to be adding to your account. So your reward has arrived. You've earned your referral reward. Your selected feature will be added shortly. And I would send them an email after I added that to their account. And I'm going to save this. I made an error. There's one other thing I want to add to my submission form. So I'm going to go in and edit this again. What I want to do here is I want to give them a chance to select in advance what they want. Instead of asking them later, hey, you just got an award. Do you want to get 5,000 entries added to your account for life, or do you want to get one additional user? And the reason I just decided I want to do that is I think it's going to add some ownership. So if you're entering a campaign and they're asking you up front, what reward do you want, and you've already selected the reward, you can kind of picture it in your head, and I think you'll be more motivated to share. So let's do that now. I'm going to add this by dragging over the radio button's form type to the right, and I'm going to ask my question. When it's earned. I'm not going to hide the field name because that has my question in it. So for the label, I'm going to say free extra user for life. And the value I'm going to put in the database, just so I can understand what they selected, is free user. And the second option will be 5,000 extra entries per month for life. And this is going to be extra entries. That's what gets stored in the database. Okay, this looks good. Now they'll be able to choose, and I'm going to make this a required field. So scrolling back down, there's other emails I'm going to need to personalize. Upon approval of reaching the referral goal, I'm going to send an internal notification email. This will basically say, hey Craig, go and add extra entries to this person's account. And it will be in their database and in their social CRM detail what they selected on the radio button. Once the goal is reached, awaiting approval, send internal notification email. So there's two different internal notification emails that might get triggered. They both come to me, but they say very different things. So if it's awaiting approval, this means that it detected fraud. So it sent me a separate email, and it's going to instruct me to go and check out the detail on this entry before issuing the reward. Set the referral goal. All I care about is that they took a free trial. So the goal is met when the referred free trial reaches 1. Even a single free trial will earn you a reward. And instead of offering only one reward per participant, I'm going to issue a reward each time the goal is met per participant. And I'm going to issue unlimited rewards. There's no end date to this campaign. And the referral period is 30 days. And what that means is if John shares with his friends that they need to take a free trial to check out the software, if 32 days goes by before their friend clicks on that link and goes to take a free trial, then John won't earn a reward. That has to happen within 30 days. This looks good, so I'm going to continue to design. So there's all sorts of things we could do to this design. I could add a Socialmonials logo to this or change the way the fields look, but honestly, this looks pretty good. If you know how to use our templates, you know all you need to do is click in here. Let's do this. Click on here. And you can add logos. I'm not going to bore you with those details. I can also go to the thank you screen and change what it says. So currently it says, thank you, John, for example. Here's your unique tracked link to share and earn rewards. So the way it's going to work now is it's going to automatically insert that unique link for John. So he'll be able to grab this URL and share it on his own separately, or he can just share to all social networks below to increase his chance of winning. And I think what I'm going to do is pre-populate this with something, and I'm going to do that on the next screen. But this would allow him to share to all social networks and even share via email. And it's going to generate a unique link for each one of these that will also be tracked, but it will allow me to see in my reporting, was the link generated through Twitter or Facebook, for example. That way I know what's really driving the results of my Share a Colleague campaign. So let's see here, under Edit Widget, I could make this customization when I'm ready to add this to my website. I'll certainly want to do that. Advanced settings, I can go in and make some tweaks to my SEO. So I definitely want to include Socialmonials, so Google picks this up. So you'll want to spend some time in here. Page image, when people share this, I just want to make sure that the right image is shared. So what this is going to change the Facebook OG tag that gets pulled in. So if somebody says, okay, go check out Socialmonials in their Facebook feed, I want to make sure that we force in a really nice image for that. I'm going to upload a logo. And a page favicon. I'm going to put in a Socialmonials favicon. So I already have, your asset library might be empty for your favicons, so you'll need to upload a logo. We recommend 48 by 48. Either put a logo or something that looks like your, that kind of speaks to Socialmonials, or whatever your brand is. And you can add CSS and remove Socialmonials branding. I'm not going to do that. The company, so Socialmonials. So now I'm going to move on to social share. And what this is going to allow me to do is customize what gets shared on the social networks. So if John is a client and John enters this campaign, the next screen is going to ask him to share. So when he shares, this is basically telling the software what URL, what end destination you want them to go to. So what I'm going to use for this is when John shares and tells people to go sign up for the free trial, I want him to go to the free trial page. So let's go to Socialmonials. I'm going to open a private window here and go to Socialmonials. And let's go find that free trial sign up page. So this is where I want him to drop people to sign up for that free trial. So I'm going to grab the URL. Instead of sending people back to the microsite, I'm going to send them to a website. Great. Now when he shares and they click on that shared link, remember that tracked link, the short URL, that's going to land people here on my free trial sign up page. So let's update the preview. And I'm going to add a default comment in the social share box. So let's choose, we've been using Socialmonials for our social media. Check out their free trial. And of course, John, or whoever my client was who was entering this campaign and sharing, he'd be able to change this. It's easy to change. This is just plugging something in by default that in case he gets writer's block, we're kind of giving him an idea of what to use. You can also add a coupon or a white paper to the share, but I'm not going to do that because the primary call to action is actually really compelling and it's something that benefits me a lot. So there's absolutely no reason to add a secondary call to action. So since the social share looks good, I'm going to deploy this campaign, and it's all done. So here's what we have. We have a microsite that's been generated. It's generated all of the widgets for the campaign, so I can add a pop-up. If somebody attempts to exit my page, it can add a pop-up here saying, hey, go and join our referral program before you leave. I can add a sticky tab on the right side. So this is something that I could leave, like once you're signed in as a user, I can have a sticky tab appear that says refer a friend, and it will generate all the code for me. And again, the settings for these are back in the design step. I can also have a button that I paste anywhere within Socialmonials. So for example, I might put a button right here that says refer a friend or refer a colleague. So all of my users can click on that and then join my refer a colleague campaign. And it's kind of nice that all of that JavaScript is already created for me. Or the iframe, I can embed this directly into a place on the page. I can also add a tab to my fan page. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to add this to our Facebook business page just because I only want this to be for existing customers. So let's go have a look. I'm going to grab this microsite. Let's take a look at our campaign. So it's our Refer a Friend program. You can join below. Now keep in mind when I send this email out of MailChimp, I'm going to add parameters to that, as I mentioned before. I'm not only going to add that hidden field parameter, the client ID, I'm also going to include their email parameter, first parameter, and last parameter. That way when they click the email, it's going to pre-populate all of this information just to make it easier for my clients. So all they need to do when they click there is join now, and it'll generate that link for them. So let's sign up. And as soon as I sign up, it generates a nice shortened link that I can use. So here's your unique track link to share. It's also going to prompt me to share below. So remember that preset message we put in here. It's already ready to go, so I can just share it on my Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, doesn't matter, or my default account, whatever you have set up on your computer. Makes it super easy. Let's grab this link and let's see how it looks. This should take us directly to our free trial page. So what I'm going to do is grab that and open up a private window, and I'm going to paste that URL, and it's going to redirect us back to the free trial sign up page. So when I share that link to social media or send an email to my friends, this is what they're going to experience. And as soon as they sign up, then it's going to trigger an email to them saying, hey, you just earned some free entries, and it's going to send an email to me personally as the Socialmonials manager saying, Craig, these guys earned something, please add 5,000 credits to their account. If you had a coupon, like if you're an e-commerce store, you'd probably be doing something like refer a friend to buy a product on our store, then we'll give you a coupon. The nice thing about that is you can totally automate the delivery of those. And what you'd want to do to automate the delivery of those is just go back to the social share and the emails. So the email part of it, you would send the email after the reward is earned. You would add the coupon code directly to the email that gets sent to your existing customer. That way it's a completely automated program. One thing I want to show you before I leave you is how I manage this. So I'm going to go back to campaigns. I'm going to go to the Refer a Colleague program. and let's go to the rewards console. This is where you manage the campaign. Now, nobody would have earned a reward. So test guy has already signed up. He hasn't earned any rewards yet. But what will happen here is as people sign up, they're going to get added down this list. And if something looks suspicious, it's going to give you a red flag saying that suspicious activity detected. So to check those out, familiarize yourself with all the different actions over here. You're going to go to View Referral Details. And this is going to show you the cookie ID, the date and time, all the information. Remember I used a private window to do this, so normally it would show you their browser, their organization they worked for, a city, country, and it'll even show you their IP address. And the stuff in blue is basically the entrant, and everything that appears down here will be all of the referred activity that occurs. And what you need to do is just have a look at it, make sure that the cookie ID isn't the same. It probably won't be because we're automatically going to block that and move it to the not counted folder. But if it's in the counted folder, just kind of take a look, make sure the IP address isn't the same. Make sure you don't have a whole stream of them, that came from the same browser or organization, for example, all within like seconds of each other. That would be very suspicious. If you want to export this to Excel, you can do that to take a closer look. But if you find one you don't like, just highlight it, click on it to highlight it, and then click to move to not counted, and it won't award them, and it will remove that reward from your overview grid here to keep it nice and clean. So this gives you the goal status. They haven't reached a single goal yet. Once a goal is reached, it will reset, and it will say 1 goal earned, and it will say 0 of 1 again, waiting for that next goal to be earned. If you have any other questions for us, then just go ahead and reach out to our support. We always have our live chat available down below. If we're not available, it will allow you to submit a ticket, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Looking forward to see what kinds of refer a friend and refer a colleague program you guys build.